And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Toastmaster Captain Keelhull. Captain.
Arr! Ahoy, me mates. In me annual trip from Manawa, I have come to assemble me crew. Although of a bit of addle you may be, able seamen ye be by the end of this meeting. Someone needs to be in charge of proper grammar during this meeting. No Queen's English allowed. And we be having a general evaluator in charge of discipline, torture, and of course, keel hauling. That be where we tie a hempen rope around your waist and we drag you across the bow, the bow back and forth, and remove all of the barnacles from the hull of the ship. Any volunteers?
I believe Captain Bucks was volunteering for a role. Captain Bucks, would you like to take grammarian?
Yes, I can.
With grammarian, we're also having the R counter do that same role. Ye be ready for that?
I can do that.
Counter? What is an R counter?
They count every time someone screams "ah" when they see
R counter. Dread Pirate Ash means R counter.
No, I mean ah counter. We are so fiendish and scary.
Mutiny against Dread Pirate Ash. We count R's on this ship.
No ahs. The screams of enemies. I will cede back to Captain Keelhull.
So, I know, not allowed in the ship.
No stuttering on my ship. We be having some speakers. Be we having some speakers?
We do be having some speakers. I be speaking. I would also like to say that there's another guest that joined us and might be a little bit confused as to why we're all talking with silly accents and have weird things wearing. Well, we be talking like pirates today because it is International Talk Like a Pirate Day. And we are theming this meeting. And I see that Junior Sea Wench Fuqua has now arrived. Fuqua, I must let you know that Captain Books has taken grammarian and ah counter in your stead. All right, to Captain Keelhull, sorry for this dreadful interruption yet again. Continue on.
The Sea Wench would like to give a speech if possible.
Aye, the winches be having equal parts in the ship, especially this unusually attractive sea wench that we have as a guest tonight.
Thank you. Flatter me.
Vast, we be skipping the joke master?
The joke master I be introducing. Where be me joke master?
Aye.
Step up, Jim lad.
All right. How do pirates know they are pirates? They think, therefore they are.
I know the answer. If you can dress like a pirate, you will feel like you are a pirate.
Close. They think, therefore they are. How do pirates prefer to communicate?
Eye to eye.
So that's pretty much what I got. I can give you some more, but this could take all night.
Right you are. That would cut into our grog drinking days. Speaking of which, where's me drink? Next, I'd be introducing the general evaluator and general disciplinarian. which be one of ye landlubbers, I don't know which.
Hurry!
Hari. But I don't see Hari in this meeting. Oh, there she is. She doesn't look quite like a pirate.
Okay, the purpose of a general evaluator is to evaluate everything that takes place in this meeting. So during this meeting, I will take notes on everything that happens and doesn't happen. I will evaluate each participant on the meeting program and look for good examples of R, delivery enthusiasm, observation, and performance of duties. At the end of the meeting, I will give my report. Now, I would like to introduce the team, our R counter, and grammarian is Captain Books. Could you please explain your role, please?
Yeah, as part of my role, I will be watching if anybody in the ship is using or I know any other filler words, and I'm also watching and listening carefully if anybody going out of the board and not using the proper grammar, and I will catch you and bring to the board and will give my review report tonight.
Thank you. Now, let's welcome our timer, Harry. So I am going to be the timer tonight. As a timer, I will time the table topics, the formal speeches, and the evaluation. I will display green and yellow and red cards on the screen as in my phone. So for table topic speakers, they are given 2 minutes. At 1 minute, my phone will display green. At 1:30, my phone will display yellow. And at 2 minutes, it will display red. For prepared speeches, they're given 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, it will show green. At 6 minutes, it will show yellow. And at 7 minutes, it will show red. And for individual evaluations speaker, they're given between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, it will show green. And at 2 and 30 seconds, it will show yellow. And at 3 minutes, it will show red. I will give my report at the end of the meeting. And for the ballot, please send me in private message your vote for the best table topic speaker, for the prepared speech speaker, and for the evaluator. Toastmaster.
What be this voting thing? I don't understand.
What be the question?
What be this voting thing? I don't understand.
Spoken?
What
Voting?
yes.
The vote, yes, the voting is
You mean
to
like a democracy?
evaluate who is, yes. Arr.
All right, okay, we'll try.
Anyone caught not smoking gets the black spot. The general evaluator can also call for a man to be clapped in irons, to dance the hempen jig, or take a quick stop and a drop. And always the threat of the plank and keel hauling, and mutual encouragement and public speaking. And now I be introducing speaker number 1. I have
The sea winch. The sea winch captain.
the sea winch be going first.
Yes, ladies first.
And
Okay.
Your booty wench. Bring us the booty wench.
I bring you a booty of a story.
Send it on.
Today, I would like to tell ye a love story. It began so many years ago when I was in the port of Singapore. I was dancing the jig with the fellas. I was drinking rum, or maybe some other things that don't be mentioning right now. But it was a good time. I was a well-off woman, so to say. I was queen of Singapore. Everything I had was made. And then our fate, like the Flying Dutchman, suddenly appeared before me. He came to my port. He was from a faraway land called Lake Manawa in the Sea of Iowa, he told me. Now, I've been all over the world. I've turned tricks everywhere, but that was one place I was not willing to go, to those red waters. He was a dastardly man. No manners, no taste, no game, so to say. He came on to me and asked if I wanted to go aboard his ship. I slapped him hard across the face. He asked me again. I pointed my pistol and told him I not be having been had so easily, Captain. In truth be told, I felt sorry for him. I felt sorry for he smelt of rum even more so than the other pirate lads that were in Singapore at the time. But like that Florence Nightingale lady, I had to give him a little bit of my time. He bought me a keg of rum. Of course, he knew that this was my favorite. Of course, there wasn't anything else besides rum, but that was beside the point. And then he sat me down and he started talking about all his adventures. His seafaring over the seas of Iowa, his daring adventures evading the Kingsmen across this river called the Platte. It sounded like it was very exciting. Suddenly that smell of rum, that said stench became a little more intriguing, tolerable. I got to see the real captain, the man beneath. I got to see his soul, so to say. So I was intrigued. I went back to his ship with him after a few beers. We danced along the poop deck. He tried to make me walk the plank. I made him walk the plank to show him who was in charge. And then we had a kiss underneath the moonlight. I'd never been with such a scoundrel. And I admit it was charming. He came to see me the next few days or so. I was, of course, busy with my plundering and my stealing and my thieving, but I made time for him. He bought me some more grog, some more rum, got me drunk on a few occasions, and then suddenly I was in Manawa, and after a drunken stupor, I'd think, "Arr! Where the hell am I? It's flat, and there's casinos. I can get some money there." I was in a strange place. And since then, I've been in Manawa since then. Unfortunately, it didn't work with me and the good captain. I was far too independent and fiery of spirit. He could not hope to tame me. He could hope not to make me his wench. We parted ways. But all in all, we've remained friends since. Sure, I've tried to kill him a few times. Once almost successfully, but he's a hardy fellow. He always manages to survive. And then he talked to me about this group called Toastmasters. I'm like, what It was for public speaking. I'm like, why do I need to know public speaking? I'm never going to speak in public. I already know how to talk to the fellas so I can steal their booty. What do I need this for? And I keep coming back once a year to fine-tune my skills, even though it's quite unnecessary. And all you landlubbers, really don't know the pirate's way of life. But all in all, I tolerate you to the best of my extent. So that was the story between me and the good old Captain Keelhaul. And I must say, Captain, you're a loving man, but you come anywhere near me, you will get the left and the right. Captain.
I accept your challenge.
What's your challenge?
Who's gonna kill who? And I'm bringing me cat of nine tails with me this time.
Don't bring your cat of nine tails to a gunfight.
Sweet talking the captain will get you far. Now blow the gaff. Let's all remember to send cheerful messages to the sea wench and to tell her how better to convey her message of violence to the crew in the future.
I can't read, so you have to use small words.
Are we being butterfingered in our attempts to bully rag? And now I may throw out some other pirate terms. Cackle fruit be hen's eggs. Callaloo be a dish of fish and vegetables. By the wind be sailing in the same direction as the wind be blowing. A cat 9 tails be a whip with 9 lashes, used for flogging. Wet leather, give you the sting. Chowder be a stew of codfish, salt pork, biscuit, and lots of pepper. While a chowder-headed crew member be chuckle-headed, stupid, and foolish. And finally, a cutlass be a short sword used for fighting on board ships. Keelhaul prefers to use the real sword to run men through. When I not be encouraging people to improve their speaking skills, there be lots of murder. And now we be ready for speaker number 2, which be Dread Pirate Ash. Stand and deliver, Dread Pirate.
Aye, aye, Captain. All right, I'm gonna share my screen with you landlubbers and you salty sea dogs. Can ye scurvy dogs see my PowerPoint?
Aye.
Reading it is another matter.
Ah, that's fair. Don't worry. There'll be a lot of images, pretty ones, in fact, in this presentation.
All right.
I hate to ask Toastmaster, but did we have a word of the day?
Chum.
Shum, sir?
Chum. I be cutting someone up into chum and going fishing tonight.
All right, thank you very much. Welcome to Introduction to Tabletop Role-Playing. I'm Dread Pirate Ash Bezak. Now, you may know about pirates, and you may even want to be a pirate, but you don't have time to get a boat and go up and down the high seas, rooting and marauding. Well, that's all right. You can just pretend through tabletop role-playing. Now, how to role-play is you need a table and some friends and generally a little rule book that'll let you know how things work. But before I get into that, let's start with the basics. First of all, if you've ever been to a play in like a theater, you know, pirates sometimes see theaters, I'm sure. There is a stage, and on that stage, you see some sort of events unfold. That stage is our tabletop. And there's a director for that production. That director is a dungeon master. See, the dungeon master, simply, just like the director, decides and sets the scene for the character. They are the head honcho. You might say they're the captain. But they're really controlling the experience, not really in it for themselves. Now, in a play, you also have a playbill and script. So the playbill is the general plot, right? Hero's quest. This is what we're doing. Here's our general idea. And then you have your actors or players in the game. So as I said, that director that is managing what happens on stage is your dungeon master or your game master. And that person knows the general idea of what is happening, the story. They make the bounds of it. They control all the characters that are not the actual playable characters. So that could mean side characters, could mean enemies. It could mean the sea itself, as we pirates always fear the sea just a little. That playbill is a lot like your story quest, your main storyline, your campaign. And this is an example of a pre-written campaign by the Dungeons and Dragons Association called The Lost Mines of Phandelver. And that is the campaign or the story arc that you will be imparting upon. Now, those actors, those players are you. And you get to decide who you want to be. You could be a brave warrior, a sneaky rogue, a magical wizard, and many, many other things in between. I like to be a barbarian pirate. Barbarian because I rage and I become stronger in it. Just get a little bit of this stuff in me and I'm ready to go. Now, since you're not playing yourself, you're playing a character, you have to have a character sheet. This character sheet shows you what your skills and abilities are, how strong you are, how dexterous, flexible, and bouncy are you, your constitution. Can you hold your ale? What if someone poisons you or beats the piss out of you? And your intelligence, how smart you are. Your wisdom, how wily you are. You're going to be easily tricked. Your charisma, how charming you are, how deceptive you are, or how intimidating you are. All this information helps augment what your character can do, but doesn't limit it. No, because we've got a lot of other things to talk about. Yes, with that, it's not just your physical abilities, but your personality, your ideals, your bonds, your flaws, things that make your character you. And you can change and adjust as things happen in the story. Just like when something bad or good happens to you, you might be braggadocious about it, showed off your new scar, things like that. This is a part of someone's backstory. You can get really deep and involved. Now, we don't really have a script. You're actually making the script as you go. So things that your character are saying are what you are saying. You might have encounters where you meet enemies and go up against them. You might have encounters where you meet other non-playable characters that your DM, your dungeon master, is voicing. You might need to negotiate or talk with them. But there is no script. You're not required to say something or not say something. You just react. Now, many people are used to some board games, like Risk or Monopoly. And it's very similar to a tabletop role-playing game. You have a set of rules that you must behave with. You have encounters and dice you roll to randomize the results. And with Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop role-playing, they often get to use lots of dice. Oh, I love dice. Oh, I just have a whole treasure chest full of them. But mostly, you're going to be using that D20 dice to be rolling. And oh yes, since I'm a pirate, I don't care about rules or time limits. The ways you want to play, you want to behave according to your character's morals, motivations, flaws, relationships, rivalries, bonds. You have certain knowledge and skill. So if you're playing a really dumb character, you might not play like you've got a PhD, whatever that is. You want to talk in character, get into it. Or you can talk describing a character's speech. If you're playing something really charismatic, but you've not gone to Toastmasters before and aren't very charismatic yourself, you can describe what your character will be doing. And the DM will guide you on what to roll and when. It's important that when the game is going, to stay in character, except for rule or other clarification. Now, I have a whole scenario that I'd like to run with you. Unfortunately, I'm well over time. Now, I don't want to hornswoggle the timer, so I won't be a son of a biscuit eater and continue eating up all of your time. I'll skip post-haste to the end, where I say, if you want to roleplay, make sure you stay in character, get yourself a good DM, listen to your DM's guidance, roll well, and have fun. If you want to learn more, please grab yourself a player's handbook. You can get the D&G 5th edition player's handbook online or in stores. And if you need help getting started, you can get the D&D starter set for more. There's also plenty of campaign books you can read as well. Thanks. I'm Dread Pirate Ash Bezak, and you can follow me on Twitter at Ash Bezak. Thanks.
That'd be a strange message to hear at sea. Now let's all write a quick note to Ash about what she did well. While I more on pirating. If anyone be having a problem with this recording, they say dead men tell no tales. We be having to go out and kill everybody that goes on YouTube. Leave no survivors.
Just for legal reasons, we won't actually kill anybody. We're just being facetious.
Arr. That be double Dutch, gibberish, or any unintelligible language. That's language that lawyers speak to earn their doubloon. A filibuster actually be a Spanish word for pirate. Why this fancy word, I have no idea. Gangway is to keep the path clear and moving at all times. A grenade be an iron pot with the fuse filled with gunpowder, thrown onto enemy decks before boarding. A gun be a cannon, not a musket. A hogshead be a large barrel carrying about 100 gallons used for the shipment of wines and spirits. As in, I drank me a hogshead of grog last night and have dyspepsy. The Jolly Roger be a black flag with the skull and crossbones. Hoisted aloft, it be saying, "You'd better surrender because we'll be annoyed if you don't." While the red flag says, "Now we be annoyed and we are going to kill you all." Do we have any more speakers?
No. Doesn't look like it, Captain. Unless you have anything to say there.
Y'all be tongue-tied, so I'll return control to the Table Topics Dungeon Master, Mark Fagan.
No, that be your gal there, Captain Keelhaul. Conveniently you forget.
Befuddled I be.
All right, so a few announcements. First of all, anyone who does use this device called Twitter will be flogged, quartered, and thrown off the ship. That is the first announcement. The second announcement is that in Dread Pirate Ash's speech, there'll be a game called Roll20 that you can do this with your friends online. I've done this with my own friends from when I was in finishing school, and it is a lot of fun, and I would recommend it. The third announcement be, we all shall bow our heads for the Queen Pirate, Ruth, and we know that the greasy old pirates be trying to pack the King's Court. I advise all of you to send your booty to all these Democrat senators. I advise you to write letters showing your disdain, and I invite you to make your voices heard in a month or two. We are all awake. That'd be all I say on that. Now, for the questions. I do have a question. Will the landlubber Mark Fagan be leaving the meeting soon for brighter seas?
Yeah, I'll be going over to the days of the modern pirates when they don't speak like retarded Englishmen. They speak more like bankers or tax collectors or insurance salesmen.
I have a question for you, Mark.
Okay.
If you could tell me what would be the treasure, the biggest treasure that you seek? It can be real, it can be made up, but what is that X on the map? What is that fabulous that you be seeking?
Thank you, Sea Wench. That's an intriguing question. This day and age, I think the biggest treasure I would seek would be an end to the current strife. And you can define your strife any way you wish, but we've now been basically isolated going on almost 7 months now with no end in sight, no realistic end in sight. The biggest treasure I would see would be two things. One would be an effective treatment for COVID, and the other would be an effective vaccine to prevent COVID infection. I say this in part because over the weekend I learned that a good friend of mine has tested positive with symptoms, and her husband is waiting for results on his test. They have no idea where it came from, but at this point, there's no vaccine, and there's not really any good treatment except, from my understanding, try to stay alive until you recover. So that would be my greatest treasure at this point, or the best thing I could see coming on the future. Madam Topics Master or Sea Wench or whoever was asking those questions.
All right, thank you, Mark. Very nicely done. And we hope that you and your friend and her husband do well. Now, my next question, how many questions can I ask? I think I would like to ask the question, and please do not use me as an example because obviously I am the number one choice, but what do you look for in a sea wench? Any volunteers? Ash.
All right. What do I look for in a sea wench? Well, first thing I look for is heartiness, because I do believe that every good seafarer needs to be very hearty and stout and of good stock, especially high on vitamin C, because in the sea, there's a lack of vitamin C. Very ironic, we pirates are. Anyhow, I would also like a sea wench who knows good, respectful language. Even though we are pirates and we curse all day, we do not use ableism. We do not use sexism. So I might not even call her a wench, because I believe she's more of a crank. Synonyms really. I also look for, well, someone who knows how to fight, really, because I like to be side by side with my wenches. So I might engage in a little bit of sword play, knife play, rope play, all sorts of play, really, because I think that really self-defense and play are the key things for a good wench. And really can't ask for much more, except for maybe she'd be a damn good cook. I have onions and garlic abound, so I own a lot of dried meat, so if she can work with that, that'd be great. Thank you, Topics Master.
We can all agree to those. I'm not a good cook, by the way. Now, for the next question, everyone knows we pirates aren't the healthiest bunch, and we don't exactly have this healthcare thing, so many times we have to lose certain body parts, be it a leg, a hand, an eye. So I'd like to ask, if you'd rate them 1 through 3, the hand, the leg, and the eye, what be you choosing and why? I'd like my junior sea wench. Would you like to take a stab?
But quiet, I don't think we can hear you.
Yeah, the sound's not working.
I'll take a stab at it. Is this much better?
Yes.
Hi.
Sorry, I had to turn on the speaker for the microphone. Well, to lose a leg. It'd be hard to walk on a peg leg with a crutch. It'd be hard to be a really good pirate if it's difficult to walk. On the other hand, if you lose a hand, which be it, the left one ye write with, or the right one ye eat with, either way, it is going to be a difficult choice to choose which hand you're gonna lose. And to lose an eye, the left or the right. Now it'd be hard to see the horizon and where you be. But I guess if I had to lose something, losing one eye be less bad than all of the others. So that be my choice. I agree to lose an eye because I need to give a hand to the sea wench for her grand question.
Thank you, Sea Wench. You will come far, and you're on your way to being Sea Wench number 1. But not that close. Now, the next question is, I'm going to ask for Jessica. This is a scenario. This might happen. We are at sea, and the King's fleet has unfortunately caught us, and they tell us that one of you must be impressed into service in the British Navy. It can either be yourself or our good friend Captain Keelhaul. Who do you choose and why?
Thank you, Sea Wench. This is an easy choice for the Navy because every good Navy man knows that women are bad luck upon board, so there is no way that they would take me into their service. They would be forced to take Captain Keelhaul, and that would be fortunate for us pirates as well, because we all know that Captain Keelhaul has a bit of a relationship with the bottle, and he would be a shall we say a subpar Navy man in their embrace, without even perhaps intending to. He would be a sort of spy working against the Navy. If they ever had him to steer the ship, we all know how often he has run us aground or run us astray and failed to find the loot because he was a bit too deep in the bottle. So if we could get the Navy to take Keelhaul and have him take them on a grand adventure while we go and continue to loot and plunder, I believe we as pirates would be much more successful and the Navy would be much less successful. And I think that it would be a good time for us pirates all around if Keelhaul were to join the Navy.
Very good answer. See, we pirates, the captain does not go down with the ship. That be our motto. Okay. Let's see if we have any time left. Let's see, would any of our guests like to give a table topic? I will let it be of their own volition. Volunteers? Going once, twice, 3 times? I guess not. Harry, would you like to do a table topic? I don't know what this means.
No, thank you.
Okay. Well, that's be concluding the table topic session. And you all landlubbers did an okay job, but you need more cat o' nine tails to improve your impromptu speaking. Now, please vote for the least sorry landlubber and send your votes to our ballot counter, Harry. I like that name, Harry. Harry! And now I will return control to the captain himself.
Thank you, Sea Wench. Now, I would like to introduce the general evaluator in charge of discipline, punishment, torture. Don't be intimidated by what's happened to some of our crew from past adventures. Let's get on with the flogging. Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Captain. Now, I would like to introduce our first evaluator, who is Jessica Coder, to evaluate the Sea Wench speech. Jessica?
Hi, thank you, Captain Hari. Of course, Captain Hari would only take over when Captain Keelhaul goes off and does his business with the Navy. In the Sea Wench's tale, we weighed anchor and sailed forth into an amusing story of grog and piracy. I really liked the theming of this speech, the keeping with the pirate theme, the use of the costuming, the props, all of that was fantastic. I liked the descriptions of the personality of Captain Keelhaul, the dastardly man, and other descriptions that were used. I would have liked to hear more of the descriptors of his physical appearance, his unwashed, unkempt hair, his unshaved mustache, his slight limp that he walked with. You were not sure whether it was due to an injury or to having too much ale. Those types of descriptors would have added something to the tale, I do believe. I liked some of the phrases you used in the speech. We danced along the poop deck and steal their booty. Those kind of sort of puns that have kind of those undertones are always amusing to me. Maybe I have the mind of a child, but I found those amusing. I did feel like we as the pirate audience lost out on some potential loot when you robbed us of those stories of the attempts on the captain's life. I would have loved to hear more tales of dueling pistols or clashing cutlasses or anything of that sort that you could have brought out. But shiver me timbers, what great expressiveness you shared with us throughout the speech. I really enjoyed your tone of voice, and I loved the stories that you had to share with us. A couple of physical things, I would consider raising the camera up a little bit higher. There were times where it was cutting off the top of your costume, like how my fingers are being cut off right now. So I would just consider raising the camera up a little bit higher and doing a little bit more with your body language. I really liked how you brought in Toastmasters at the end. I did notice that you started out saying this was going to be a love tale or a love story, which led us to believe it was going to be a love story between you and Captain Keelhaul. But of course, as we know, no one can truly love Captain Keelhaul. So perhaps you could have had the twist at the end be that your true love was Toastmasters. So that's what I would recommend. So a great and fitting tribute to Captain Keelhaul, scum that he is. And I hope to hear more about your perhaps one day successful attempts on the captain's life in the future.
Are you driving me to drinking?
I apologize, Jessica. I used the table topics timer and then it displayed the green earlier.
That's okay. Yeah, I saw the time. I knew I had more time.
Okay, thank you. Now the next evaluator should be Meg, but Meg is not present here. So I would like to ask if there was anyone evaluating Ash's speeches.
I evaluated myself.
Okay,
Just want to do quick round robin. Everybody can say a sentence about what they liked or disliked about my terrible tale.
That sounds great. So please go ahead. Ash, you go first.
I thought I used some amazing visuals, and my accent was terrible and quite distracting. Maybe next time, in order to prove your timings, perhaps lose the accent. Jessica.
I thought the opportunity for improvement would be in incorporating even more of the pirate theme. We pirates, we have no concept of what a director is or what a play is. Perhaps talk about sea shanties or captaining a pirate ship sailing off to collect treasure.
I feel the speech was very much up to the theme what we have selected. The animation was fantastic and giving the flavor to whatever your speech was. But some of the text and some of the the detail which is coming little blurry. So I'm not sure whether that needed or not. That is one thing I see, and I agree with Jessica bringing more from the pirate related topic and bringing those character will help. But overall, I enjoyed your topic and more of it your accent and talking like a pirate. It's add more to it. Thank you. I really enjoyed it.
The sea wench, would you go next?
What's be good? The lovely speech about something I have found to be very fun, very detailed. If I had to improve on, I'd have to say the accent. I couldn't tell if you were the boy from Long John Silver or Oliver Twist. A little bit too proper King's English there. So work on it.
Captain Kehoe.
I'd be thinking a good swab that knows his job be speaking here. I would enjoy there being more dungeons in this story, though. A little bit more flogging, and maybe some mates going down to Davy Jones' locker would have cheered up me day.
Thank you. Robin, would you like to speak next?
Arr! I know you had difficulty with your time, but your speech was so good. I would have loved to have heard a tale of one of your quests to know the types of things that you go questing for, be it dragons, or perhaps dragon's teeth, or perhaps the treasure that a dragon has taken from a ship and hidden away. Arr! More power to ya!
Thank you, Robin. Joel, would you like to provide your thought?
Yeah, I thought it was really well put together. I could tell it was prepared pretty well ahead of time and even practiced, but it didn't have the flow of something that was practiced or like it was a script. It didn't feel like that, but it felt like it was practiced. Just curious, how many times did you practice it? Just so I can get a framework.
I've actually given that one as a lightning talk at conferences. So I've done it several times in front of audiences. So
Okay.
That one's,
so it's pretty polished.
Yeah, it's an older talk, but I thought it'd be fun for you guys. So
Okay. Yeah, I like the hand nonverbal communication as well was pretty good. Very few ums, I think, in the prepared one that you did, like that. Very, very good. I was taking a lot of notes.
Thank you. Yeah, generally I don't do it with the accent at all. So it was a little weird for me.
It looks like your British accent totally, so it's into it.
Thank you all for your feedback. For my side, I really appreciate the accent that you had, the Ash. I love that. And it was the first time that the table topics was explained to me like that. So I really appreciate that too. Now, I would like to invite the accountant and the grammarian to report about that. Please welcome Captain Books.
Yeah. So first of all, I looked carefully all these speeches. So I'm glad to say that I have not heard any grammatical mistakes, but one or two time I see the sea wench. I was flown by the the speech, and I was about to drown, but when I heard a ah from the sea range, then I kind of jumped back to my ship. So there is a only ah from the sea range, and the great pirate Ash. I heard one or two, then nothing else. But overall, things was very good. Thank you. Back to you, Harry.
Thank you. Now, Harry is going to report the time of his speech. Thank you, General Evaluator. So for prepared speeches, the Sea Wench spoke for 5 minutes and 35 seconds. The Jet Pirate Ash spoke for 8 minutes and 45 seconds. For our table topics, Mark spoke for 1 minute and 31, Ash 1 minute and 48, Robin 1 minute and 21, and Jessica 1 minute and 10 seconds. For our evaluators, Jessica spoke for 2 minutes and 23, and for the round robin feedback, it was about 3 minutes. Now I am going to provide feedback for the overall meeting. The meeting started at 6 p.m., which was at the right time. Our president welcomed our guests, and everyone was introduced properly. It was a really fun meeting with the pirate theme. And we also used pirate vocabularies when we spoke. And then I would like to return it back to our Toastmaster. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam Timer. I choose to be losing me right hand in answer to the table topics question and be making a good back scratcher. Be the quartermaster, have the results of the balloting so we can divvy up the plunder.
So you were asking about the vote, Toastmaster?
Aye.
Yes.
Okay. So for our evaluator, the best evaluator for tonight is Jessica. And then the best table topic speaker is Robin. And the best speaker for today is Ash. Congratulations. Toastmaster.
Thank you. At this point, I think it's time we be drinking, except for those that have to pull watch tonight.
Jessica, this is Azhar. I have something to talk with you. I think from the renewal perspective, I'm sure you guys have all, kind of renewed all the members, or anything pending, or I can take it offline whenever.
Yeah, the renewals are in progress.
Okay.
Eamon, the Sea Wench, is our treasurer. He's been trying to collect those. I don't know, Eamon, is there anything Azure can
help you
do to help you with that? Or you have it under control?
I did send out another reminder email. I think
Sure.
two paid. I did get dues from Hari and Robin, so I'll be processing those soon. The rest of you just send to my mail. If you didn't get the email, just I'll put my email there so that you can let me know. And so I think that'll give us 4, and we just need 4 more by October 1st. And
Yeah. So
yeah, do we need it by October 1st or October 15th?
I think we're targeting by end of September. So that would
Okay.
be great. Earliest is the better. And my next, thing is that I was looking into the report. Look like from the goals perspective, I think we have certain goal like level 1, 4, level 2. We have 2 award, level 2 and above 2. And I think we have already so many DTM and 1 more DTM needed. I think maybe you might be knowing that what are the awards we need to focus on that. And I guess we have 11 member altogether, right, for this 229. So is there any possibility of adding more member, any new requests or anything? And if you need any help